Hey everyone, today we're going to cover how to download, install, and run our Linux VM for the EE306 class. So, what is a virtual machine? Well, basically, a virtual machine allows us to host a operating system within an operating system. So we can access our Linux client as if it were installed on our machine. So the way that we'll do that is first we're going to go to our UT box server and download the VM that I actually created for this class. It's got a lot of the stuff that you guys are likely to use pre-installed on it. But you can do this manually with any Linux client that you want. And then just go to, what is it? Just Google Lc3 Linux. And you should find a link here to be able to get the simulator for Linux. And all I did was download this and install it onto that system. Nothing too crazy. So what do we need to run our Linux VM? I personally like to use VMware Player. I believe that you can use VirtualBox or Parallels for running this VM, but I haven't tested that yet. And if you're running on a Mac, you're probably not going to find VMware Player. You'll probably need to run VMware Fusion. I think it costs money, but you should be able to get it for free through the university. So let's go ahead and install our Linux VM. So I've gone ahead and extracted the file onto my desktop, and I'm just going to open up VMware Player, and let's go ahead and open up this VM. So just go File, Open, and just click this one, the VMware Virtual Machine Configuration. And that will go ahead and link it into... Oh yeah, if you see this message over here, virtual machine appears to be in use, just say take ownership. You'll only see that one time. Okay, so the virtual machine that I've installed over here, it's all we have to do now is click play virtual machine. The virtual machine, oh yes, sorry, this is another thing you guys are likely to see. Just hit I copied it. Okay, so this virtual machine is a Linux Mint client, or Linux Mint distro that I installed. I'm just going to go ahead and say download and install. This software will let us copy and paste stuff between Windows and our virtual machine. It's nice and handy, and it just gets installed on our virtual machine. Okay, so like I was saying before, this is Linux Mint. I have several text editors installed on there. I've got Git already installed and SVN, which we'll be using for the class. And then we also have the Lc3 Simulator, of course. Okay, so the login for this, or the password is SP2015. The username is EE306. I highly recommend you guys change your password as soon as you log in. That's new. I didn't know it made that sound. Okay. Whenever this gets ready, hit yes. So this is what our VM looks like. I'm going to go ahead and hide this little thing. Come on. Oh no. See, I've got a very powerful machine. I'm surprised it's doing that. Yes, yes, yes. Hide that. Okay, so welcome screen here. You've got a user guide, important information, some tutorials on here. You guys, if you're new to Linux, this might be helpful, but I went ahead and created another little PowerPoint over here I called README. And this will quickly go over some of the stuff that you'll see in the system, things that are going to be useful, how to set up Git, and some examples there. So, what do we have on our homepage here, or our desktop? I've got a Git folder. This is just a nice place where you can put all of your all of your code that you're going to be running in the class. It's just nice to have it all in one place. Your home folder, which is basically like home on Windows or Mac. I mean, it's not too scary. I've got Libreoffice Writer, which is basically Microsoft Word, except it's a free open source version. Screenshots in case you want to like capture things and send us debugging messages. This calculator, this is awesome. Go ahead and move this over to programming mode, and then you can set in the preferences to make this a 16-bit word, which is the same size that we use in the Lc3. And then now you can write these in hexadecimal, decimal, and binary, and you can do the conversions here. So if you don't want to do any math on paper and you just want to do it quick, I don't know, like let me go ahead and do this in binary. 101101. It'll go ahead and tell you what this is in octal, decimal, and in hex. Just nice and handy. So, I included these two text editors. Vim is amazing, but it takes some getting used to, and you'll probably want to look up some tutorials on that. Sublime is it's a lot easier to use and more intuitive. So what we can do over here is we can write our code in this and then just compile it for the simulator and then run it in the simulator. You don't have to use the built-in IDE for programming the LC3. So what is this terminal? Terminal is probably the most powerful point of Linux. And you can see here I've got a little bit of issues with the text. I'm going to release a patch to fix that. Or you can just go menu, preferences, and then fonts over here and change that out. It'll be the monospace font. Let's just go ahead and find one that says monospace. Actually, I know one that'll work. The Ubuntu Mono. It should be over here. Come on. Where is it? There we go. Let's do that. And that fixed it. So here is our VM, or our terminal. Some useful commands. ls. It'll tell you what your current directory, or what's in your current directory. pwd will tell you what your current working directory is, so where you are. And let's go ahead and change directories over to our desktop. Inside our desktop, which you can do with cd. Inside our desktop, if I ls again, you can see all the functions that I have. So programs show up in green, and the folders show up in this like light bluish or dark bluish color. This light blue is just because I have it as a what's it called? A shortcut. Okay, so how do we run the Lc3 Simulator? Well, if you look at the welcome folder I have over here, we can just go to the Lc3 Simulator, and then all we have to do is type lc3.tk. Okay, -tk. So lc3, and then we can hit tab if we want to autocomplete. lc3 sim-tk. So now this is running over here. But this blue, oh my god, is this blue ugly. Let's go ahead and change that. In options, code background color. Let's make this nicer. Make it a lighter. Oh, that hurts. That just hurts. How can I change this to make it like a nice... let's do that. That's a lot nicer to read. And then for this PC foreground, this other little part over here, we don't even use that, so we can ignore that part entirely. Go ahead and save that option, close it, and bring this forward. So this is what our Lc3 simulator looks like on the on our Linux system. So we've got our list of registers, we have our program counter, instruction register, our process status register, and then our condition codes. And then you can go to different memory addresses by typing like hex 4000 and hitting enter, and it'll take you all the way down to your memory address, and then it'll tell you what's in that memory address. And then on the side, it also tells you what that memory actually represents, or what it think it represents. Now, what you program in it, like in your mind, it might be different, and this thing might pick it up as the wrong value. That's okay. So over here, for instance, they're just typing hex 006E, and that would be a fill N if you were writing it in your assembly code. Of course, you have your reset. You can step to the next instruction. These two seem like they do the same thing, but they're actually different. So I recommend you guys play around with that when you're writing your code, and it'll be more important when you write subroutines. Finish will just run. Actually, I don't know what finish does. I know continue goes all the way through the code until it hits a breakpoint or something similar. Okay, so that's our Linux system. Let me know if you guys have any questions.